Today's victim, a good old trusty 2013 Caravan. Yay! Everybody loves Caravans. Alright, so today we are changing the front left wheel bearing. Of course, me like a chooch, always starting, never taping. Always partially through. So, thus far, I have removed wheel, I have removed axle nut. Because if you're going to have a bad time, you're going to have a bad time. That's where it's going to be. So remove the axle nut, and the axle is actually free. I'm weak and I can't move it by hand, but it is free. It does move. So next, we got to take the brakes off. I'm not going to take off the caliper bolts and lose the brake pads. I'm going to simply take off the anchor bolts and remove the whole thing as an assembly and tie it up here to the strut out of the way. Then I will remove the brake rotor. And then I will loosen off the ABS harness here. And then I will take out these top bolts for the strut, maybe. I might knock it out without taking the strut out and show you that way. Alright, so caliper bracket is removed, rotor is removed. ABS line is disconnected and free. Caliper is hanging out on the strut. I'm going to tie it there. Now I have opted for, I'm going to try first, just to take out these 4/15s at the back here and knock out the bearing by hitting it here. I should be successful doing that as long as it's not totally stuck and corroded in there. If it is stuck and corroded in there, then I'm going to have to possibly take out these bolts, which look just as corroded and are probably going to be a bad time. Take them out and then swing this around and start really pound on the bearing from the back. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think I'll be able to get it just by taking these guys out and hitting her here. Here we go. Alright, now the 4 bearing bolts are out. The caliper is secured, which means it's bearing beating time. Yeehaw! No, for real, I'm going to put this down and not hit like a woman. And for being in a hurry, I done almost screwed it up. Bearing has come loose. She's almost ready to come off. However, me being dumb, forgot to take off the 310 mils right here, right over there, and right down here for this shield here. This guy's got to come off before the bearing comes off, or you're going to bend it and screw it up because the wire goes right behind it. Right in there. Way to go, dum-dum. So don't be a dum-dum like me and take off your shield when you're supposed to. Alright now, shield's removed. That looks a little better. Let's never speak of that again. And just like that, the bearing is now free. She can come off and go into your scrap pile. Just toss her over there. Now here in Canada in the Rust Belt, we get some corrosion built up in here, so make sure if you're by the places like where I am, that you clean all that stuff out and then throw in your new bearing so that she mates properly. New shiny part. I'm sorry for the life of abuse that you're about to endure. Good luck. Alright, so once you've tightened the 4 bolts for your bearing, that's all good. Then you run your wire the way it's supposed to be. That's all good. And then we put this stupid shield on that I said we're not supposed to talk about. So I'll put this back in place, even though it was in place the whole time. Alright, stupid shield back in place, check. Bearing tight, check. Rotor back on, kinda, sorta, struggling. Alright, rotor back on in place, check. Next, put brakes back on. And then we'll put the axle nut back on, which will torque. And then we're just about done. Got to hook up the electrical for the ABS still. And yeah, not so hard, eh? Not so hard at all. Alright, so brake caliper is back installed. Good to go. Axle nut is back on for the most part. We got to torque it after. Caliper flex line is not twisted. That is important. I've seen more people do it than I care to talk about. Don't twist your flex line. Bad things. Yeah, that's about it. We're going to throw the wheel back on. We're going to torque the wheel. And then we're going to torque the axle, and then we're going to ship it. It's gone. It's out of here. Job's done. Wheels torqued, axles torqued, out the door.